Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta let y'all know to tap in with Big Print Champs. Get all your Hurt Season hats, your Hurt Season tee. You know, with that purchase, you get the Hurt Season hat off at a discounted rate. So make sure you tap in there with that, man. Listen, man. Let's talk about the recap for the Eagles and the Patriots game. The Philadelphia Eagles, you know what I mean, win an ugly game, 25-20 against the New England Patriots. And, listen, man, I knew this Patriots team was going to be tough. You know what I mean? In my first recap, I was talking about how tough this team could be, and everybody's saying, oh, we're not worried about the Patriots. But it literally came down to the wire. You know what I mean? This game came down to the wire. They had the ball in their hands with a chance to win. And, as much as I want to crucify Sean Desai, you know what I mean? The defense made a stop and we won the game. You know what I mean? When it mattered most. So, you got to kind of think about what matters most in this game. I really liked from Jalen Hurts. I really liked that Jalen Hurts was taking what the defense was giving him. It was a lot of check downs, a lot of dump downs. Wasn't really trying to force many balls. That's just how the game went. And you got to look at the conditions as well. The game started off raining. Kenneth Gainwell got most of the snaps. I'm not really mad at things like that at all. But I will say this. As a collective, Brian Johnson and Sean Desai right now are in the garbage bin to me. They're not really good at what they're supposed to be doing, if you ask me, from what the level of things that I'm supposed to be saying. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, it was, it wasn't much creativity. And I think we tried to use Jalen Hurts' legs a little too much. The fumble, that almost cost the game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Plays like that just don't make sense if you're offensive play caller. If you're going to run the ball, just run it with a running back. If your objective is to run the ball and see what happens there. But I will say this, the play was positive, so it was the correct call. Jalen Hurts has an obligation to himself and to his team to slide and stay healthy in a situation like that. He tried to barrel over the defender. They popped that ball out. The only thing that teams can do in chances like that is poke at the ball. So why wouldn't you get somebody who gets the ball poked at him every time they touch it, like a running back, to run the ball in a situation like that? Penny being inactive, when you have a chance to salt away the game, and you're not using Swift. You got two pass catching backs out there. Penny being inactive, again, I'll say it again, just didn't make sense to me at all. You could try to spin it how you want to talk about a short week, but in a game that was going to be physical from the rip, you knew it was going to be this type of game. I did. I didn't predict us to blow these guys out. I knew this game was going to be physical. I knew we were going to have to grind out a win. We didn't play in the preseason. Why would you not have a thumper like Penny behind his offensive line? It just made no sense to me at all. The rhythm is still there with AJ. The rhythm is still there with Smitty. I feel like they had their due diligence. Jalen Hurts, was still his regular self, sharp throwing the ball when he was able to throw the ball, when he seen what he saw downfield. So I'm not really mad at the players. This was a coaching snafu. This is the only reason why this game was close to me. I mean, I wanted to give Sean Desai some praise because, you know what I'm saying? They was stuck at 14 for a minute, but then they were doing things like driving the field in a minute and 30 seconds and getting 7 points. Like, it just doesn't, like they converted a 4th and 8. You know what I mean? Like, situationally, man, those are the things that these guys got to get better at as defensive coordinators, if you're going to ask me, man. It got to be the situational football, man. Like the coordinators ain't good right now as a team. You know what I mean? They're not good. The offense couldn't move the ball in the first half, and that kept, you know what I mean, Mac Jones with the weapons that he got, not supposed to cook you like that. Over 300 passing yards. Mac Jones is not supposed to do you like that. Now listen, a lot of guys didn't play in preseason. I get it. I know it's the first game of the season, so I'm not putting too much stock into what I saw. It's hard to go up in Foxborough on Brady night and win, no matter what the score is at all. So yes, I'm very thankful for the win. But usually when guys don't practice, in preseason, or guys don't get a lot of reps in preseason, usually the first thing that you see in these cases is a lot of penalties. We didn't see that. We just saw coaching that has to get better. You know what I mean? Guys were disciplined. Guys were where they were supposed to be, but guys were led in a different way that they're not used to. So at the end of the day, we're going to take the W. We're going to be grateful for the W. Thursday night, we got a short week. So, we're going to be back at practice as soon as possible, getting ready for that. But this is not a trash defense. This Patriots team is going to be in a lot of games this year. You know what I mean? They're going to be in a lot of games this year, so I'm not really upset at, the defensive effort that they put up. I'm not really, and you know what, with it raining, that played into their hands. You know what I mean? It kind of kept us one dimensional. Well, we started out being one dimensional, just trying to run the ball and little check downs and dump downs. Like we had to get into a rhythm. Jalen Hurts, that was his first time throwing the ball in an NFL game that mattered since the Super Bowl. Okay, I get it. I get the little rhythm throws. Let's get him some easy completions in the beginning of the game. But when the game was on the line and the chains had to get moved and we needed field goals to get some space, Jalen Hurts was able to do that. You know what I mean? I think red zone offense got to get better. I think knowing which running backs got to be in active for weeks, that got to get better as well. Like, why is Boston Scott out there in a game like this? Penny would put pressure on this type of front. You know what I mean? Nobody plays more dime than, the New England Patriots. You know what I mean? Nobody plays more dime than the New England Patriots. So why would you have guys out there that cornerbacks can possibly tackle? You know what I mean? Now, Gainwell, it ain't easy to bring Gainwell down, but no cornerbacks ain't tackling Penny one-on-one without feeling that. You know what I mean? Without feeling that. So, I think that, situationally, personnel-wise, I think it's some things that got to be cleaned up. Sean Desai it just was irritating the way that the middle of the field was exposed. That got to get cleaned up. It was some confusion with safeties. You know what I mean? Like, Mac Jones was able to move these guys with his eyes. Mac Jones if you're getting looked off by Mac Jones in the middle of the field, imagine what a good quarterback is going to do to you. Now, Mac Jones ain't a bum, but you go against some dogs. You go against Allen. You go against Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? You go against some really good quarterbacks. So Mac Jones should not be able to just look off our linebackers and create an open crease. He shouldn't be able to do it. I would have liked to see us pin our ears. I would like to see us play a little more man because, my guy better than your guy and we got that pass rush. I would have liked to see that. But, we couldn't stop a screen and we knew the screen was coming. You know what I mean? I just didn't like it, man. I didn't like the job today from the coordinators, man. I don't have a good feeling about these guys. They're going to have to show me something different. But then when you show me something different against Minnesota and Kirk Cousins, like, do I believe it still? You know what I mean? Would I trust either one of these coordinators in a big game situation? That's what it's starting to boil down to for me right now. I know it's only week 1, but I got a lot of questions, man. And when the film come out, when I really sit back and diagnose this, because I want to enjoy the rest of the opening week, when I really diagnose the rest of this, I'm sure, more questions are going to arise as to why this happened at this time in this game. You know what I mean? But the coordinators definitely they got to tighten up, yo. They got to tighten up. It's a long season. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts running the ball the way he ran the ball in week 1, after we all know he could throw the ball. You know what I mean? We want him to stay around for the whole season. It just didn't make sense when you're trying to sort away a game to do a quarterback draw with your quarterback. It don't make sense, man. But let me know what you think in the comments, man.